Click on a show, then pause. Same old script, same flaws. What if the roof came off? What if the crowd got lost in a fight that felt like a fight, in a stare down burning bright?
Hey guys, welcome back. Episode 3. We are moving into the men's basic figures. And this one's going to be quite an episode. So far, we have 192 figures looking at what's boxed and like those odds and ends figures in our women's basic figures. So now we're going to move into the men's. All right, with that being said, we're going to look at the men's figures. I've got them set up in different waves, so let's just get into it. Starting, we've got I think that's a Chavo Guerrero Jax figure. We've got a Shinsuke Nakamura, one of my early Shinsuke's, not the first one, but I did pick this one up. I like the attire and the gear to it. Here we have a Road Warrior, oh shoot, Road Warrior Hindenstein or something, I forget what his name was. We've got a Triple H in the jeans. This is one of those ones that if you have the talking playmat, they stand on the ring and they talk to each other. That was a really cool wave, really cool series. Here we have a Vader head on a Braun Strowman, get these hands, basic body, but still pretty cool, so we slapped it together. Here we've got an Undertaker who has seen better days. He's getting pretty faded, but he's in the collection, keeping that alive. Here we have the Biker Taker, still has the Sarah neck tattoo. If you know, you know. Look at these arm tattoos, though. How sick. Next, we have this Sting, a WCW figure. One of my favorite Stings that I own, mostly because a lot of Stings are really expensive. But this is just a really cool figure. This thing stands the test of time. Just awesome, awesome figure. And then here we have a Raven figure, believe it or not, from way back. Moving right along, we've got a Matt Hardy. If you spin it around, we put a Jon Moxley vest on. Just kind of cool. Looks kind of cool, I think. So that's him. Moving right along, we've got a Fandango from Fashion Police. Which, let me get the other one out of the way since I know that Fandango's here. Tyler Breeze is in the back of the lineup. We have the matching Tyler Breeze, Fashion Popo on their popos. So, just funny figures. Here we've got a old-time Chris Jericho. Back, this was like 2008, maybe? Let's see if we got a date on this. Well, the foot mold doesn't really tell us anything. It says 2011, so sometime after 2011. Here we've got the Matt Hardy that goes with the Lita that we had in the other video. This is the Matt and Jeff. They both look like this. Not elites at all. There's no ab crunch at all. The Lita did technically have an ab crunch. The women's figures, it's hard for me to remember what was basic and what was elite, if they had any sort of ab crunch or ab movement. I'm just putting them in elites, even though that may be wrong and they might be basics. I'm putting them there just because it's simpler for me to identify them now, whether it was basic or elite by that. So early Mattel didn't do that. So I'm just putting them there. So that's why the Matt and the Jeff, there's no ab crunch at all on this. This is the plastered on shirts. That's part of the mold. No ab movement at all there. So they get basics. That's why we gave the Lita the basic as well. Here's a Fiend, Bray Wyatt, relatively newer figure as far as what we're going to see in the collection. Great Khali, I've got a few of these floating around. This is still one of my favorites because it's still the tallest Great Khali made. So this is one of my favorites. Keep him in the collection. I think we have 2 of that guy. Here's a Stone Cold, just a generic basic Stone Cold. The basic Stone Colds are very, very basic. Here we've got Lars Sullivan, a character who unfortunately never got an elite, a character I was excited to see more of, and he didn't last long enough, so we never got more of him. Here's a Mark Henry, one of many Mark Henrys that we will see in the video. Moving right along, let's go this way now. We've got an Elias who looks like he got a little doodad on his arm. Oh, I think someone painted that on there. It's pretty good. And it looks like they redid. Is that Elias? Because that looks like someone redid, like, polka dotted a beard. Maybe that's oh, you know what? Who did Elias change? Ezekiel Is that who that's supposed to be? Did he have like scruff instead of a full beard? I think someone made an Ezekiel. I attempted an Ezekiel before, but I never removed the beard like that. Here's Drake. No, I'm kidding. This is, it looks like Drake though. Here we've got Street Profits Montez Ford, although it definitely looks like Drake, not Montez Ford, so might have to use that in the future. Here is my very first Jeff Hardy figure. This has a lot of fun memories for me. This is my first of the Jeff Hardy figure, and I don't think we showed the first Matt Hardy yet, but this is my first Jeff Hardy figure. Just a fun figure. He's also got the pegs there on the feet. I loved the colorful hair, and this is what drew me to Jeff Hardy to begin with. So that was fun. This was right out of TNA. Here is somebody with, I put the Demon Finn, this was from the He-Man figure. This was the Demon Finn chest piece from his He-Man figure that we showed in the last video. And I do not, for the life of me, know who this is. This is a Marvel TNA figure. Is it Carl Anderson? I have no idea who that actually is. Here is my first Kofi Kingston figure. This was he came in a 2-pack with Rey Mysterio that we'll see later. He's not in this lineup, but he's going to be in one of these lineups coming up. But this is my first Kofi Kingston figure, so that has a special spot in my heart. Here's the Lowrider Rey. Got a couple of those. Here is my first Scott Hall figure. Just very, very wimpy looking Scott Hall. And actually, this came with my very first Rey Mysterio figure before Rey Mysterio was an actual character. He was like a part-time guy. But there was a like rubber, it was a plastic bottom. If you guys had this figure, you'll remember, I don't have the vest on Scott Hall anymore, but I think it's on somebody. But you'll remember there was this Scott Hall had a little figure that he came with. He had the red pants, and it was like plastic solid bottom, and then like the top was rubbery, and it had the Rey Mysterio mask. So hard for me to say it was anyone else, but Rey Mysterio wasn't a character then. This figure here, guys, is my oldest figure. This is the very first wrestling figure that I've never owned, because this technically isn't mine. This wrestling figure belonged to one of my friends in elementary school. His name is Seth Jones. If he ever sees this video, Seth, I've got this figure for you. You left it at my house the first time you came over, and we played Mario in my bedroom. You, me, and Kevin played Mario in my bedroom, and you had all your wrestling figures with you, and we played with wrestling figures, and you left this one in my bedroom when you were packing up to leave. If this ever makes it to Seth, please let me know. We went to Kefauver Elementary School together, and then went to the Lincoln Intermediate School together. And it was during that time you came over to my house, and we played with wrestling action figures. So if you ever see this video, if this ever somehow makes it to you any magical way possible, Seth Jones, I have your Wrath figure still from all these years. Your WCW figure is still in my collection, holding a special spot in my heart, and I owe this back to you. So that's a fun little shout out for anyone who didn't know. This figure right here may be the reason. This may be the reason that all of this even exists. This may be the reason I'm into wrestling figures at all, because of that figure. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And then we've got one of my newest figures. The last time is now John Cena, which we head swapped for this one here. So we've put that angry head on that figure, and threw the happy head from the Brussels on here. So just head swapped that one over. Here we've got Nathan Explosion, or Marilyn Manson, whoever you want to call it. It's a Seth Rollins basic with a Undertaker head and a top hat. It just looked really, really, really cool. So I just liked the whole idea of having like this metal band singer gimmick going for a character. So that's what we got there. Here we have a Sabu, fresh with the paint on the chest from his battle scars. I think this may be the only Sabu figure I have. So got to hold on to that one, because I know we're not getting him anymore. Here we've got Rusev with sword. I told you guys in previous videos that a lot of these characters are going to have weapons in hand. I was gearing up for a major battle Sorry, this Rusev has like a little dinky sword because he wasn't going to last. In fact, he may have been one of the casualties laying on the battlefield. Sorry, Rusev. No offense to you, but that figure just wasn't really up to the task. Here is a Billy Gunn figure from back in the day. I liked when the knee pads... maybe it's just me. I like the knee pads being a part of the character, where it's just built into the character, the way the boots are. I'm a fan of that. Knee pads and elbow pads, I don't need them to be removable unless there's something like The Rock where it's like, okay, you have to remove the elbow pad to do the people's elbow. Here's a Matt Hardy. This one looks a little rough. Probably one I definitely picked up at a yard sale or something like that. He's loose, got some pieces loose, one elbow pad, but cool pants though. I like the blue pants that have the paint on it. Here's a Chris This is my only Chris Masters figure, I'm pretty sure. This one's just really, really cool. Don't have Chris Masters, don't see him a lot, so picking up a good figure of his from Jakks back in the day was really fun. Here is a old school Undertaker figure that the hair was ripped off. So this one came in a pack with like a bunch of other figures, but I didn't really necessarily look for this or try and pull this out. But if I ever find like Undertaker hair or something, I can buy it and glue it on or something like that, just to fix my boy back up, get him looking right again. Right now he's just a bald man with bad tattoos. Here we have, is this Uncle Fetus? I have no idea who this is. I don't know who this guy is. He is a Jakks Pacific, so he's a Mattel guy. He's a WWE guy. I cannot place who that is. I apologize. And then we've got Sandman, one of my favorite early figures. I loved this tattoo going down the arm. He had, this cool like full sleeve tattoo without it being like an actual full sleeve tattoo. Not really a fan of the barbed wire tattoos, but that one, it worked for him. It worked for him and his gimmick and everything. Just pretty good. Here we have a Stone Cold. Someone put a 316 on it. Just Stone Cold with his shirt, the Stunner Inc. shirt and some camo pants. So can't complain about that at all. I think this is John Morrison. I think this is early John Morrison. The shirt, looking at the shirt, it definitely looks like a John Morrison shirt. The face doesn't really, it looks like he's trying to make the face, but I can't really. Oh yeah, it says it right there. Right there it says John Morrison. I should have looked at the back first. Yeah, it's John Morrison. It just, the face isn't screaming John Morrison to me, so, but the shirt was a good giveaway. Here we've got Lars Sullivan again, but we slapped a little shoulder pad on him there, and he looks like he lost a weapon, because I think this was one of the guys I had geared up for battle, for this big epic battle. Here's an early Carlito. One of my favorite characters getting into wrestling when I got back into it in the early 2000s. I liked Carlito. The afro, man, it just drew me in. I'm like, oh, I want to watch him. Just because watching his hair fly around and everything was pretty awesome. Here's the Boogeyman. I don't think I need to say anything more about the Boogeyman. It's the Boogeyman. He's going to get you. Here we've got Paul London. Who did he... Was it Brian Kendrick? Is that who he tagged with, I think? Got a loose arm, so I'm going to have to fix that. Didn't realize that was in such bad shape. There might be something... Yeah, I think there's something broken in there, so we're going to have to take him apart and try and fix that. If anyone knows good hacks on how to fix these old Jakks specific figures, I've not had the best luck with them. Mattel, I've pretty much got covered inside and out. But the Jakks ones still give me some trouble every once in a while. Here we've got a CM Punk with just not the greatest CM Punk head. Look at that thing, man. That's all goobered up. I think we're going to swap that out just to get him something. Just something else for my boy. That's rough. That's rough. I like the shirt. I love the shirt. The gear is good. Everything's good about this, but that head is all boogered up, man. That thing is just... Oh, you guys remember Adam Rose? Here's a fun throwback character. Adam Rose. Oh, as we're losing focus, hold on a second. Adam Rose here, making that little duck pout face thing. I think he came in a 2-pack. This is where I got the top hat, was from Adam Rose. That's how we got this this metal singer guy there, because Adam Rose had a top hat. 'Cause I think his whole thing was he was a magician. I'm pretty sure. And he came with the Easter Bunny or something like that. Here is one of this. No, I don't think this is my first. This is one of the early canes that I had. One of the first canes that I ever got. So to me, this is peak Kane. I loved this era of Kane when he did the mask and had the long hair and everything with the red. Some people are diehards for the bald Kane, shirtless, bald Kane, and I get it. Like, that was a good era of Kane too, but this is peak Kane for me. I love early Kane. It was just something that just grew on me as a kid. I really liked. Here's another Kofi Kingston, I love this gear, the light blue gear. I think Kofi in blue is just a good combination. I love Kofi figures in blue. Just like I can say the same thing about Rey Mysterio in white. Rey in white is just, these are sharp looking figures. Here's I think this is early doors Randy Orton, is it not? It looks like Randy Orton in the face. I'm just not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's an early doors Randy. This one, no mistaking, is Randy. This is peak Randy. This is Apex Predator Randy Orton to me. No tattoos on the arms, so that's disappointing, but I love the red gear. The red trunks on Randy is the way to go. Next, we've got RVD, one of my favorite RVD gears of all time. Just really good figure. Here is, I want to say this is Justin Gabriel. Does that sound right? I know Justin Gabriel was a guy. I think he was the shaved head guy, before Shinsuke. There's nothing that really gives it away on the gear, I don't think. No, nothing's really giving it away here. Like the winged boots, that's pretty cool. I think Kofi did that later. Here we have a Santos Escobar head on a Alberto Del Rio basic body. Just another luchador that I could create. Here's where we start to get fun, guys. We have a tiny Cena, or as I like to call him, and my little brother used to call him, Lil Cena. I don't know who made this. This is, in fact, a Jakks Specific 2005 figure. I don't know how. I mean, look at him compared to any normal figure. Just a tiny little guy. Speaking of tiny guys, we also have this from the same series, Big Show, which standing next to an incredibly out of sized, here, let's just get right to him. We've got the we did the Montez Ford, I think, right? So here's the Angelo Dawkins for that. The way oversized Angelo Dawkins, just incredibly too tall, but with next to that Big Show and Cena, it just looked even funnier. Here we've got a Drake Maverick on a Shorty G body. You guys remember when Chad Gable was Shorty G for a minute? Like, it didn't last very long. I swapped this because I wanted the head from the Shorty G to create my brother's action figure. When we made the We the Kings figures for that tag team. So I literally only bought this just so I could head swap to get the Shorty G head. Just because it looks so much like my little brother. It's not even funny. Shorty G in the making. Although that picture is really old, so it didn't quite look like, he didn't look like Shorty G then. Here we've got a Andrade head mask on a Matt Riddle body. We just got rid of the mushroom tattoo that was over here, and I think that was the only tattoo that we got rid of, because the rest of it is still, everything else is still Matt Riddle, except we did start to lose some paint down here just from having him up like this when we got rid of it, and some of the acetone dripped down. So it started to take away some of the paint. I just didn't know. So we're going to have to fix that up at some point. But again, just give another luchador. Here we have a big Cass with a big weapon ready for a big battle that, I don't know, it may happen, it may not. I haven't decided yet, guys. You tell me what you think. Should I do the battle or not? Here we've got Apollo Crews. I like Apollo Crews Basics figures. Like, these have always been really good. I don't think he's had a bad basic. He's just been solid on basic figures. Here we have my one and only surviving Crippler. You guys know his real name. I'm not going to say it, but great wrestler, but that's where it ends. This is the only surviving figure that I hadn't destroyed after that event, or my dad hadn't taken from me or anything like that. I don't remember if I remember breaking some of them, but I didn't know like why I was breaking them. You know, I was young when everything happened, so my dad took a lot of them, and like he didn't want me having anything for that. So this one somehow survived. It stayed in my collection, and this is the only remaining figure that I have of him, and I don't plan on purchasing anymore. So this is where it ends. So I'm just keeping the one that I have, trying to keep it in decent shape. That way, if I ever want to use it for anything, I can. Here's a Dolph Ziggler with a John Cena jersey on, but just a Dolph Ziggler basic. Again, real loose. That one needs fixed up a little bit. Here's a Goldberg. Just a Goldberg. This is probably the first Goldberg I think I ever had. And when you squeeze his legs, he does like his pull-ups or lifts weights or whatever. This was just a fun era of figures. So it just a lot of nostalgia and a lot of memories on this. The head looks way too small for this gigantic body, but it's just a fun era of figures, fun nostalgia memories. Here we've got a Shield Seth Rollins with a taser. He was supposed to be a cop, but he's got the black hair all the way around, and he's just like a cop. Here is a Bray Wyatt in a trench coat with a sword for some stabby stabs. Here's a Mark Henry with, actually, this is a basic Mark Henry, but he has cloth goods, like jumpsuit. I think so he could like pull it down over the shoulders and stuff, but really, really good, fun stuff from Jakks back in the day. Here is a Big E Langston. I don't know if you guys remember this from back in the day. This is Big E Langston, as not to be confused with Big E. So this is Big E's debut character. He was Big E Langston. Love the gear. Look at this lion. That is really sick. Love the gear. I'm pretty sure he came with he was in a 2-pack with AJ Lee. I'm almost positive. Here we have a Undertaker that we used the head for our guy down there. And we threw an Eddie Guerrero head on, and it just looked really, really cool. And it's like, this guy just looks like a cool biker. So we gave him I'm pretty sure this is a Fortnite sword. From the research I've done, I'm pretty sure it's a Fortnite sword, so he's ready for battle. Here we've got a Christian equipped with a staff ready to whoop some butt, followed by another Randy Orton, early doors Randy Orton, with a knife also ready to whoop some butt, and of course a Stone Cold with a vest that I made him, but oh, maybe it's not falling apart. Oh, I thought it was falling. It's his neck that's falling apart. I thought the vest was actually ripping that I made him. No, my vest is holding up pretty swell. Look at that, guys. I did all that. Look at this seam work. Look in there. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it. It's not showing up on camera, but I stitched this thing together for him. Look at that. I stitched that. It doesn't look great, but hey, I learned how. YouTube taught me how to make clothes for my wrestlers, and dang it, did I do my best to try. So it's not perfect. This is one of my early attempts at clothes, so it's not very good, but it gets the job done. You can tell Stone Cold's coming to get you. He's got his vest on. He's got his crowbar in hand. Let's get to the next pile of figures. All right, guys, I realize this video is running long, so we're going to try and make these quick. Here we have a balding in the back Paul Heyman. Fun figure. We have a Dominic Mysterio, but we took the bottom of this basic off. Love this shirt, by the way. Took the bottom of the basic off so we could throw it on something else. Here we've got a Seth Rollins. Put him in a Bloodline shirt to kind of like mock Roman Reigns a little bit. There we have a Joey Mercury. You don't see too many of them. Announcer figures are just kind of harder to find in general, in my opinion, at least when I've been looking. There's a Randy Orton for you. Here's a custom. We took a Anvil Neihart, put it on the Never Shuts Up Seth Rollins. Kind of turned out funny, so we left it. DX. Here we've got, we can just knock both these guys off. We've got the Bushwhackers and the camo, and they've got a little gun in hand ready for a battle of sorts as we go. We've got another Shinsuke basic for you. Here's a Finn basic for you. I've got Finn Balor's out the wazoo. One of the Usos back in their face painting days. We have the other one coming up here. I know they're both in this lineup. Fun Daniel Bryan. I always liked his stuff. Here's a Big Show, but we threw the Warlord vest on him here, and I forget whose was this. Tensai's helmet, I think, his garb. We've got a Brock Lesnar here. Next, we've got John Cena, Word Life. He's got the Word Life Nux on the figure, like you can't pull them off. They're just part of the hand sculpt, which is really awesome. With the champs here, spinner belt on the t-shirt. We have one of these talking figures.
It's not arrogance, it's destiny.
I don't know if you guys could hear that.
RKO from out of nowhere.
We've got the talking figures, and then they have these sensors on them, so if you stand them up in front of each other, they'll talk to each other. We've got a few of those. Here's a Zeb for some fun reason. We've got a Vader. This is a fun, Vader figures are just kind of fun, you know, have a nice big guy figure in your lineup. Here's our custom Mr. Matt Man. Very accurate to what Mr. Matt Man looks like. Just always an angry guy ready to go. Here we have a Rikishi. That's my first Rikishi figure. One of the zebras. I've got many zebras back here, but this is the Shawn Michaels zebra. Here we have, I think these guys were the Highland Warriors is what they were called, I think, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. They were a tag team that didn't stick around too long. I don't remember them very much. The one guy's literally being held together with electrical tape because his arm broke off, and I just don't know how to fix that one. Here's another Finn Balor, one of my favorite like basics of his because I love the arm sleeves. The Rock, one of the first Rock figures that I ever remember owning, and then got to do a Stone Cold in a like a suit of sorts. It's not really a formal suit, as you can see, just like, you know, he was made to play nice, so he's playing nice as he can. Here we've got a Cactus Jack, just a fun Cactus Jack, not the new one. Here's another Great Khali. I told you I had a few of these. This one's just beaten up a little bit more. It's got some battle damage on it a little bit. Here's a Trips in his suit. Just suited out a Trips. Here we have a Shield Seth, complete with his vintage look. Just a fun Shield Seth. Bobby the Brain Heenan, of course, in his suit. The tie's just ripped off. Here we have Y2J, Chris Jericho for ya. How about Bradshaw, APA? You guys remember APA? Here's the other Oos. That's who we were looking for. The other Oos completing that set. Getting the Ooses done for you. Here's a custom I did for my dad, but I don't think he really liked it because I think it was too lifelike. It's an old school Dolph Ziggler head when Dolph Ziggler had short hair, thrown on a Bray Wyatt body with a little custom black shirt. But it's a very lifelike, so maybe he didn't like it. Paul Bearer, here's another Finn Balor for you. A little cheeky guy looking happy. That was, you know, when Finn was face. Here is my favorite Rey Mysterio in my collection. This is the Batman Rey. He was in the 2-pack with my very first Kofi Kingston. And this was like the second or third Rey Mysterio that I got. I think it was the third, and I only bought this pack because of this Rey. I love the Batman gear Rey, and I think that guy's kind of expensive now. Here's a Eric Bischoff busted out arm ref. We've got Davari, I think, ref, and I don't know. This is just a referee. I don't know who it is. If anyone knows, leave it in the comments. Here we've got Finn Balor pouring out a prime, pouring one out for the homies. Here we've got Baptista. You know, just being the animal shortly after his little belly button tattoo, which is the stupidest thing. Almighty Keith Lee. What's up? We got R-Truth in here checking in. We've got our first Vince McMahon checking into the video. So welcome, Vince. Here we've got a yellow jacket Kurt Angle. Really good look for Kurt. I like Kurt as like businessman. Here's our Brian Kendrick. Business Kurt just looks really good in my opinion. Mr. Kennedy, one of my favorite wrestlers from my era. Love Mr. Kennedy. Threw this cloak on him to try and make him look a little cooler. It didn't work. Here's a Maven. Actually, the only Maven figure I have. Did Maven ever... I'm sure he got Elites, but maybe we'll have to take this Maven head and pop it on a modern Elite. I've really liked Maven's YouTube channel. and the stuff he does. So maybe we'll have to try and update Maven, get him a little better of a character. Here we have, oh, what's his name? Dijak, I think. I forget what they called him when he was part of Retribution. T-Bar, maybe, is that right? Mason T-Bar, I think, so that's the head. I think it's T-Bar was Dijak's character. Is T-Bar, I think, so we threw that on this body, just make him look a little cooler, and then we tried to give him a straight jacket, but I didn't make the sleeves long enough. There's a Chris Jericho from back in the day. Here we've got an Andre the Giant with a Panthers jersey for Superman Steve Smith, the original Superman to the Panthers before Cam Newton came along trying to steal that gimmick. Cam, you poser. Here we have Jeff Hardy basic. Here's an Oos basic. Guys, don't ever let Cam Newton see this, because then he's going to try and throw shade my way, but we all know that he just copied Steve Smith. Any stinking ways. The Lost Matadors are here. The Singh brothers are here checking in. We've got a Daniel Bryan, a Danielson checking in back when he went by Daniel Bryan only. Oh shoot. I know this. You were Chad Gable's tag partner, early Gates, when Kurt Angle was like your mentor. Jordan, something Jordan. It's something Jordan. I know it. I'm blanking on it. And here's our other Rey Mysterio from the Lowrider. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for this. We got through 2 waves. That was 140 figures. We still have this whole bin to go. Here's what we got done. That and this we got done. This is what we still have to go. So I'm going to stop it here just so you guys aren't overwhelmed. It's a lot. It's a lot of figures. It's a lot. It's going to take a lot of time. When we get into the ultimates, elites, these are all elites. That's all elites over there. This bucket's overflowing of elites. We've got the rosters that are all elites. That whole bin back there is all elites. It's going to be some time, guys. It's going to be some time, but I want to do this for 2 reasons. One, I want to show you guys all the figures that are out there. Maybe inspire some customizing ideas. If you see something and you're like, oh man, that would be so awesome to get that figure so I could do a custom of something. Because then your inspiration leads to my inspiration, and then we just keep that train going. It also lets you see kind of a catalog of like, these are different figures that are out there. I do not own every wrestling figure. I'm not going to make that claim. I'm not even close to owning every wrestling figure. But I do enjoy the collection that I have. And guys, this isn't something I got overnight. This is years and years and years of saving my money, buying figures when I thought the price was right for them, overpaying for a few, overpaying for a lot. So I don't want anyone to look at my collection and go like, oh, well, I'm not a good wrestling collector because I don't have enough figures. That is never, ever, ever the case. Never the case. I'm in my mid-30s now. I started collecting when I was like 11 or 12. Was when I was getting my very first wrestling figure. Well, actually, that Wrath figure I got when I was, it's not even mine. I've been holding on to that since I was 10 or 11. So really, really early on. And then that kind of sparked a love for like, oh, these wrestling figures are really cool. Like, they're so posable. There's so many different personalities back then. You had all these characters to collect. It was a lot of fun. But I digress. I don't want to ramble on too much. This video is already really long, but thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this is inspiring you to collect more. You see some stuff that you want to fix up or customize or something like that, and then you guys can let me know in the comments like, oh, you should do a custom of X, Y, and Z, and mix and match different parts and pieces. And I'd love to do that. I'll do that for you, no problem. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!